Brooke Shabbat Yom, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans in the West, to the four corners of the earth, scattered greetings. This Shabbat lesson, we're going to title it End Time Prophecy and Nothing Else. End Time Prophecy and Nothing Else, brothers and sisters. That's what Revelation 13 is talking about. So we're going to go to Revelation 13. So we're going to have that discussion. So Revelation 13, Chazon 13. And I stood upon the side of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Eliyahu, and to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on earth that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So, brothers and sisters, so you see Revelation 13 is talking about end time prophecy and kingdoms. Brothers and sisters? And the saints that will be saved would be of ethnic Israel, whether we are scattered. And those saints, why they get the name sainthood? Because they are keeping the king's commandments and hope in Yahushua HaMashiach. It says, I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So 7 heads are 7 kings. And the 10 horns are powers. And upon his horns 10 crowns. So you see, 10 horns, powers, 10 crowns symbolize kingdoms, rulers. And upon his name, the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of bear. So that kingdom is going to be diverse in wickedness and deceit. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power. So who is the dragon representing in Chazon 13 here, brothers and sisters? Who is the dragon? The dragon is SHATAN. You have the eagle, the dragon, and the bear. Bear is Russia. The dragon is China. The eagle is America. So the dragon, which is SHATAN, gave him his power. And his seat and great authority. That's rulership, power, government. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. You have to also remember too, brothers and sisters, no kingdom is without a religious head or leader. So in Reverend Chazon is saying, and I saw one of their heads as it were wounded, that's verse 3, right? And I saw one of their heads which as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. So it's talking about the papal false religion called Christianity. They were wounded, brothers and sisters, huh? So the deadly wound that the Bible was talking about, right? The Catholic Church experienced that in 1798, the imprisonment of Pope Pius, right? The sixth, 1798. So the deadly wound, its interpretation is rooted in the biblical prophecy and refers to the capture of Pope Pius VI by Napoleon General Berthier. This event symbolically wounded the papacy authority, with the wound taking years to heal through the events like the papacy gradual regaining of influence between 1871 and 1917. Brothers and sisters? Other significant wounds to be noted also, brothers and sisters. The East-West scheme, yes, the East-West scheme in 1054. This event marked the formal split between the Western Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church, largely over doctrinal issues and papal authority. You see, brothers and sisters, deadly wound. And so, brothers and sisters, so all the churches you see today in this modern time and back then has one leader, and that's the Pope, the Catholic Church. You understand? At one point, the Orthodox Church was one with the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? If you look at their teaching, is very similar. They worship Mary as intercessor. They teach the people. They pray to angels and saints, and all those are evil deeds, idol worshiping. You know what I mean? And taking the salvation from Yahushua, taking the glory from Yah, and that's the work of SHATAN, and that's the goal of SHATAN, is to take the glory and worship away from the Most High and give to SHATAN, the dragon. All churches are 501c3 and under the order of the Catholic Church, brothers and sisters, under the order of the Pope. Okay, so let's carry on. And all the world wandered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which is SHATAN, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast. So the beast is a system. Saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. The mouth of the lion. The lion roared with great authority. And they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things, and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months, as 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in the blasphemy against Eliyahu, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And so let's continue. And all the world wondered after the beast. They worshipped the dragon, which is SHATAN, which gave power unto the beast, which is the system. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemy. That's the mouth of a lion. Lion roars with power. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months, as 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against Eliyahu, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. So again, the war with the saints are Ethne Israel, the people of Ethne Israel, descendants of Hebrews, and Hebrew slave, whether we are scattered. Why they are called saints? Because they are keeping the king's commandments and statutes. And the sad thing about it is, not all of Ethne Israel shall be saved. Many are called, few are chosen. And to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life, and of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Brothers and sisters, so this is the root of Chazon 13. It's about end time prophecy and judgment upon Esau and Edom and his kingdom, and those who follow after him and worship him. Because the mark of the beast is all about worship, brothers and sisters. Many of our people already have the mark of the beast, spiritual mark of the beast. They yearn to worship SHATAN and their idols and celebrities and government officials. So we're gonna precept Chazon, chapter 10. No, Chazon verse 10. We're gonna precept Chazon verse 10, and we're gonna use YAHUAH'S 26:40 to 25. Okay, brothers and sisters, on your screen, YAHUAH'S, Matthew 26:40. I said I wasn't going to do 25, but let's go to 70. That's YAHUAH'S, Matthew 26:40 to 70, to precept verse 10 of Chazon 13. And so Chazon 13 said, He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is talking about the judgment on Esau, because he had taken the royal house of Jacob. Jacob's house include Benjamin, his little brother. And Levi was also caught up in the slave trade. So I have to reiterate this all the time. Judah is the head child that brought in the slave, but Judah wasn't alone when they came for the house of Yehudah. Benjamin was right there with Yehudah all time, always. And every single tribe have Levi in them, because Levi didn't have a possession, an inheritance, but his possession and inheritance is Yahusha and the priesthood. So Levi was caught up in it. Jamaica has Levi's there. Go back on my video, watch Levi's of Jamaica. Jamaica, Levi's. Levi's in Jamaica. We also mix with Benjamin and Yehudah. So we are there. Brothers and sisters. And so those who took us into chattel slavery with brutality, they themselves will face brutality. And those who brought us into captivity, they themselves will be captive we shall be, what you call it, shall be their captors. Hmm? They shall be our servants, brothers and sisters. That's just the fact of the matter. But we must endure to the end to see that. Teach the next generation about thus saith Yahuwah and his laws, commandments, and statutes. Come to them, recite them, live by them. You understand? And you will see the salvation of thus saith Yahuwah. Alright, so Matthew 26:40-70, and he cometh unto the Shalias, the Talmudims, and findeth them asleep, and said unto Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? So this is Yahusha asking these questions when Yahusha came and saw his disciples find them asleep. And he asked a question unto Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation, that the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Abba, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciple and said unto him, sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed unto the hands of the sinners. The hands of sinners, rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staves, from the chief priests, the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Yahusha and said, Hail, Master, and kiss him. And Yahusha said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahusha and took him. And behold, one of them wherewith Yahusha stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. And then said Yahusha unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So this is talking about Chazon 13, he who killed with the sword must die by the sword. This is the reference of it. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? So Yahusha is telling Peter that don't do that. You don't need to draw for the sword. Put back your sword up. But you see, the most I could have stopped Peter in mid flight, just like Yahuwah stopped Abraham in mid flight when he about to slew his son. He said, stop him in mid flight. Yahusha could have done the same thing, but Yahusha made judgment fall upon the wicked. You understand? And why the Most allow the judgment to fall upon the wicked? So he could show his miracle and his power and his might. What happened after that, brothers and sisters? So after that, he said to him, think as though that I cannot. It's the same thing with we as people who walk in the light of Yahusha. We don't need to draw the sword just yet. You understand? But there's a time will come when the Most High tells us that we gotta, turn our plows in and buy arms. So there's gonna be a time where you need arms to protect yourself. But now we don't need it. You understand? We will call upon the angels just like Yahusha did and suggest that, you don't think I could call to my Father and he shall presently immediately give me more than 12 legions of angels to fight Esau? We have that power too, but that power comes with keeping the commandments first. You have to be grounded in righteousness. and in Yahusha, and they believe in his Father. Hmm? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that thus it must be? Verses 54, 55. In that same hour, say Yahushua to the multitude, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take him? Hmm? So after Peter cut the ears off the soldier, right? The Mosiah Yahusha healed him back, literally put his ears back, take it off the ground, put it back on his head. In other version of a recount of what happened. So in that same hour, verse 55, in that same hour said Yahusha to the multitudes, are he come out against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and he laid no hold on me. So they see this man every day interacting with them, and they accuse him. This is how people is, brothers and sisters. The Most High showing the inside of people and how they act and think. You know, the heart is desperately wicked, brothers and sisters. Who can know it? This is what the scripture says. Now they see this man daily interacting with them, talking with them daily, teaching them. Then all of a sudden, no, he's a wicked. I tell you, man, you gotta learn to discern. Walk in the spirit of truth and righteousness, so the Most High can open your eyes to the Ruach HaKodesh sent by his son Yahushua Mashiach. Verse 56. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Eliyahu, to build it in 3 days. So they did not understand what Yahushua was saying, because it was a parable. He's talking about his physical body. When he went into the ground after they tried to kill him, he rose again in 3 days and 3 nights. After 3 days and 3 nights. That's the key. 3 days, 3 nights. 3 days, 3 nights. 3 days, 3 nights. Verse 62. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? But Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living Eliyahu, that thou tell us whether thou be the Mashiach, son of Eliyahu. Yahushua said unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sit on the right hand of power and come in the clouds of heaven. So the Most High is prophesying his second coming right there in those days. And the right hand of power is his father Yahuwah the Superhot. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further need have we witnessed? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffet him, and others smote him with the palms of their hand, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Mashiach, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Yahushua of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid said, saw him and said unto them that were there, this fellow was also Yahushua of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewareth thee. Then again he to curse and swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Yahushua, which said unto him before the cock crew, Thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. I went to 75, brothers and sisters. So you see, this action right here at the end, when everything comes down at the end of 75, this resemble a bitter and convicted soul, a sorrowful soul, because after the cock crew, his memories come back, and he wept bitterly because he knew he had denied his Savior. But the Most High did not cast Peter away, because he's the rock. The Most High know Peter's heart. In that moment, he was scared. He was fearful of his life in that moment. You understand? So he denied. But the Most High forgave him, because that's what the Most High does for his people. And the sheep of his pastors, those that are keeping his laws, commandments, and statutes. And so, brothers and sisters, so the two horns, we talked about the two horns in Chazon 13. The two horns of the second beast, right? In Chazon 13 symbolizes dual nature and authority with a deceptive lamb-like appearance. So he's going to have the appearance of being a religious figure. And we already have that lamb-like appearance, which is the Catholic Church. The Pope Francis, well, he passed away. You have another Pope. No one knows about him. He's invincible. But there's a Pope there. So he will have the lamb-like appearance contrasting with his dragon-like speech. And again, the dragon is SHATAN. So the lamb-like horns represent a mild, innocent, or religious power, while the dragon speech signifies his ultimate allegiance to SHATAN and its ability to compile worship through corrosion and deceptive miracles. You see that already happened already. Watch my video. It has begun. All those Edomites over there, European people who claim they are Jews but are not, but do lie. The Most will have them to come and worship before you. They began that miracle when they sacrificed the red heifer. Unauthorized sacrificial of the red heifer. The Most never thought authorized that. But that was a ritual unto SHATAN, working miracles. Miracles did happen in there. But those miracles were, temporary and false. And that miracle ended up becoming a evil deed towards them, a curse towards them. And that sacrifice did open up portals and cause many evil to flood the earth. Go back on my video and watch It Has Begun. And slow that video down too. You see, brothers and sisters. You will slow that video down as well. And so some interpretations see the horns as representing political and religious power or a dual leadership structure, while others view them as representing two distinct but allied groups like the United States and its republic. Religious principles according to the facts, amazing facts, like lamb-like horns. Deceptive appearance. The two horns resemble those of a lamb, creating a false impression of innocence and mildness. So the innocence and peaceful. This symbolizes a youthful, peaceful power that appears to be harmless, even benevolent. Dual authority. Some interpretations suggest these horns represent a dual religious and political power similar to olive trees in Zechariah's vision, representing the high priest as the Robabal. The dragon-like speech, contradictory nature. The beast speaks like a dragon, revealing its true, deceptive, and evil nature, which is inspired by SHATAN, the blasphemy. This dragon-like speech is a complete contradiction of his outward appearance and is filled with blasphemies, the corrosion and power. The beast exercised the full authority of the first beast, using his power to force people into worship, including compelling them to receive a mark, punishing those who refuse. It's all about worship, I tell you. Possible interpretation of the two horns, religious and political power. The horns represent a combined religious and political authority which promotes the worship of the first beast. The two specific groups. One interpretation suggests the horns represent two separate political jurisdictions, such as a group of people living by scripture and another group that doesn't, though this is not explicitly stated in the text. So specific nations are peoples. Other interpretations drawing parallels to the ram with two horns in Daniel 8 suggest the two horns could represent two united nations or peoples such as the Medes and the Persians. A false prophet. The two-horned beast is often interpreted as a false prophet who speaks on behalf of the dragon, SHATAN, and directs people to worship the first beast. Specific historical or future entities. United States. Some Christian interpretation have historically linked this beast to United States, pointing to its rise as a new power in the world and its initial principle of liberty. Lamb-like nature would be the initial idealism, which it's speaking like a dragon could be a future departure from those ideals. Roman Empire. Other interpretations see a connection to the Roman Empire or its later forms, noting how it held both political and religious authority and persecuted believers. Symbol of false testimony. The number 2 can symbolize a false witness or testimony, particularly since 2 witnesses were needed for legal validity in ancient Israel. Also, too, brothers and sisters, we touched on earth in Revelation, what it symbolized, so we're going to look into that deeply. So in Revelation 13, the earth symbolizes a region of the world, and the beast from the earth, the second beast that arises from it, often identified as the false prophet. This false prophet who works with the first beast from the sea, the Antichrist. The Antichrist also has a name. His name is Apollyon. Yes, brothers and sisters, his name is Apollyon. After this Shabbat lesson, I'm going to attach a small snippet of video to explain such a thing. You go and research this for yourself and study the scripture for yourself also. So in Revelation 13, the earth symbolizes a region that arises from it, a region of the world, and the beast from the earth is the second beast that rises from it, often identified as the false prophet. This false prophet who works with the first beast from the sea, the Antichrist, deceives people to worship the first beast through false miracles and economic corrosion. Inhabitants of the earth generally refers to the wicked or those whose names are not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, as they are the ones who will worship the beasts. The beast from the earth, the false prophet. Function. The second beast, described as having lamb-like horns but speaking like a dragon, arises from the earth to deceive people. It is also called the false prophet and is a key agent in SHATAN's war against believers. Actions. It performs signs and wonders to deceive humanity, compels people to worship the first beast, and forces everyone to receive its mark to buy or sell. Relationship with the first beast. It acts on behalf of the first beast from the sea, exercising his authority and making the world worship it. Symbolism. Two horns of the second beast have been interpreted to represent different nations, possibly Media and Persia, according to ubication. Some interpretation like the earth to specific geographical areas such as the Middle East. There's nothing as Middle East. It's not East Africa, brothers and sisters. Let's call it what it is. Or the United States, while others focus on its function as a contrasting symbol to the sea representing the nations, not East Africa and the surrounding areas. There's no such thing as Middle East. The inhabitants of the earth. General meaning. While earth can represent a region, the inhabitants of the earth or dwellers on the earth are consistently depicted as the wicked people who are not followers of Eliyahu. Actions. They worship the beast, receive its mark, and fall for its deceptions. They are the ones who are easily persuaded by the false prophets' miracles and power. Contrast with believers. This stands in contrast to the righteous who are warned to not worship the beast and to take its mark, brothers and sisters. So, Chazon 30 is all about end time prophecy and about worship. That's the mark of the beast, giving your essence, giving your all to a false prophet and idols and beasts and antichrist system. Many of our people are caught up in that. But the saints who will be saved is within Israel. Those who were taken in chattel slavery, the sin of Hebrews and Hebrews saved and scattered. Not all of us will be saved, but those within those group will be saved because they are keeping the king's laws, commandments, and statutes. So watch this little video after this lesson, right?
There's always somebody walking around the earth that, his name adds up to 666, so he's got to be it, right? It says the beast comes from the bottomless pit. So that's where I'm going to look for the beast. Revelation 9, Revelation 13, and Revelation 17 tell you exactly, in a tremendous amount of detail, who the Antichrist is. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Where did the beast come from? Okay. Whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon, which is a derivative spelling of Apollo. So it just told you who the Antichrist is. It's Apollo. Well, Nimrod, at the Tower of Babel, everybody was under his leadership, all gathered together, and then the confounding of the languages. They went out to 70 different languages, 70 different people groups, went their different ways, talking about the same guy, now with different languages. So he took on different names. These are just some of the names that he became known by: Gilgamesh, Orion, Apollo, and Osiris. In the case of Gilgamesh, he's 1/3 man, 2/3 God. Well, 2/3 of 100 is what? 66.6%.
So on that note, broke your what's about broke your Mashiach, Shina, Vishina, blessed love, and shalom.